Hello. In this video, we're going to look at how to use the Vlookup function to gather information or transfer it from a source data with a lot of information that we don't need and just obtain the data that we need for a specific group of students, in our case, or certain amount of data that we need. Okay, so if we have the Vlookup function, what does it do? The Vlookup stands for vertical lookup, which is a function that makes Excel sheet search for certain value in a specific column, which is so-called the table array, in order to return a value from a different column in the same row. Okay, so what does this mean? We're going to provide the function with what to search for, and in our case will be the ISIS number is our reference, where to search for it, which is the source data we're going to gather the information from, what to give when match is found, so which specific rows do I need, which specific cells or columns do I want to gain the information from, and whether this information is exact or approximate. So if it says, like I've got 2, it always gives me the exact number written, or approximately, it might approximate it to the nearest 10 or something like that. So in our case, we need the exact reference or the exact number given. Fine. So let's take a look on what do we need to build up our data. And we're talking here about a group of students from a certain class, which, for example, in this class I've made up is 12 students. And then where to put this information. So this is the analysis tool that we're going to put the information on, and where to find this information. And in that case, we're going to find the information in the reading skill, that is the grade 12 level check reading skill that we downloaded from our system, that is the Swift Assess here. Fine, let's see how we're going to build the data. Of course, we're going to copy paste the names and the ISIS number from the source that we have, okay? And I've got them here, for example, in alphabetical order, okay? So this group of students, I need the names to be generated also in the other sheets. So when I start building my other classes, or teachers starting using this template, it will be easy for them instead of copy pasting every time in both sheets. So we'll create this formula, which is equal, and then the cell I need highlighted, plus enter. Now here we've got the information from the use of English score check, copied automatically onto the reading calculator, and I want to generate and copy the formula so to the rest of the sheet. So what I'm going to do is highlight the cells, the first row of what I need, of the columns I need, and then double click here, okay, double click on this sign, and it will generate the formula. Now you can drag it manually or just double click, but with the double clicking it will give you the formula. It will copy it until 200 other rows. You can just double click again and it will automatically fill, or drag. Fine, so here are our names. Now let's prepare our sheets. What are we going to do in our sheets? Now here I added a sheet and I named it Use of English Actual, and then I added the numbering for the first row. So the first row is always for the Vlookup, is a very important reference. So always put your first row as numbers from 1 till the cell you want. If it's 40 questions, or the source file has 40 columns, 60 columns, just make sure it is numbered. Fine, so let's see how we do this again. We just click on the plus sign, rename it as you wish, and let's say rename it to reading actual. Okay, I have another one with the same name, so let's say reading actual 1, for example. Okay, the name doesn't really matter, it's just a reference for you. And then we're going to create the reference for the Vlookup, which is the numbers 1, 2, 3. Just highlight it and drag it. It should take us to as many as we want. Okay, so here we've got our file ready to paste the information into. Let's go then to the source file, which is downloaded here from the SwiftSS, and make it ready for our function. To make it ready, we've got to have our reference column, which is the ESIS number, here on the very left, which will make us cut it. So cut the ESIS number and insert cut cells onto column A. Then the second step, so first step, and insert cut cells onto column A. The second step is to sort it from A to Z, and to do this, just highlight any cell under column A or the ESIS number and go to data, then sort from A to Z. It will sort it automatically and expand the sort for all the tables. So this information is ready now. Let's just take it, Control A and Control C. Go to where we want to paste it, and let's say here it's the reading actual. Okay. Sorry, reading actual 1 is the sheet we have prepared with the numbers. Stand or select the first cell you want the data to be pasted into and just Control V. So we have our data ready here. Now let's just move to creating the formula. Now the formula is called Vlookup, so we're going to put equal Vlookup and select it. It will give us the kind of information it needs. The first information is the lookup value. What are we looking for to match? We're looking for the ESIS number, so we're going to highlight the ESIS number which we put. But it's very important that we say it's always this information under column B, but the number will vary. So it's not always number 2. It's not always row number 2. I want it row number 3, B3, B4, and so on. So I will put the absolute reference, which is the $sign. Okay, so putting the $sign. Okay, shift and the $sign will make it absolute reference. Add a comma, and let's check the second chunk of data it needs is the table array. So we're going to go to the reading actual 1 in this case, highlight all the table, okay, and I wouldn't only highlight the data that I have here, but I will also drag it down to 200 or maybe 400 if you have 400 students maybe in a specific grade level. Actually, it doesn't matter how many, it doesn't affect it. So then we're going to highlight, so put a comma and highlight it. So after you put a comma, press again on the table array, it will highlight the formula, and again add the sign $. In this case, we're going to add the sign $by pressing F4. In some computers, you press Fn and then you press F4, or just press F4 according to your computer. So here, when I added the F4, what did it do? It made each part of the formula an absolute reference. So it added the $sign, before the letter and before the number of each reference. Okay, so then we need the column index number, and the column index number in this case will be the first question that I need here. Okay, for example, in this sheet, it is on under row K. The K row has the first question for me in this specific sheet. So I will highlight it because this is question 1. I will highlight the first cell on the column, which I've created the number reference for. And I want to tell Excel, always look for the data under the column. The column will vary, but it's always the reference, your reference is always the first row, okay, the row number 1. So I will add the $sign here. Okay, now put a comma. It will ask me if it is true or approximate match, or you want false and exact match. I want false and exact match. So I will highlight it and it will give me here false. Press enter and it is highlighted. Now let's drag the formula to the side, and as you notice, it is NA. Now NA means not available because the student who's named Arwa did not do the exam, so it will return NA. Now let's drag the formula, highlight all the cells that I have the formula for, and just double click and populate it. As you can see, it gave me all the information. I've got 2 students who are not available on this actual marks, no Arwa, no Amna, so that's why it returned NA. Fine, so this is it, and this is how you create the formula. Remember, the final output of the formula, in our case here, looks like this. Vlookup, this is the cell reference that I want, this is the table array, and this is the column index number. Then what sort of data do you need? Is it false or approximate? I want it false. So this is how it looks like. Of course, the numbers may vary of the row and column according to the task we are doing. We can apply it anywhere to gather information from different Microsoft forms into one sheet, to track attendance. The options are unlimited actually, but hope this is simple for you and easy to follow. Thank you and good luck.